Hello everyone, my name is Robert. Today, I will take you through a shocking and tragic case of love, betrayal, and murder that took place in Sichuan Province, China, back in 2011. In love, people are often willing to do anything to be with their beloved. But when that love leads to something as devastating as murder, how can we even begin to comprehend it? Today, we delve into a case that unravels a dark and twisted love story, one that shocked an entire community. Let's begin. This story takes place in the vibrant city of Chengdu, known for its deep cultural heritage, beautiful scenery, and the gentle flow of life that makes it famous as the land of abundance. But in the peaceful Jinfu Garden neighborhood, something far more sinister was brewing. Our main character, Mei Ling, was a 23-year-old woman, soft-spoken and reserved, with striking beauty. Her parents, the Mei family, were proud of her as she pursued her master's degree at Sichuan University, specializing in traditional Chinese medicine. The Mei family had deep Confucian roots, placing a heavy emphasis on respect, family values, and maintaining a proper social status. Their daughter was not just a source of pride, she was their hope for the future. Wei Zhang, on the other hand, was the complete opposite. He lived just a few blocks away from Mei Ling in the same neighborhood, but his family was far less affluent. He attended a nearby vocational school where he studied mechanics and worked odd jobs to make ends meet. Though he lacked formal education and social standing, Wei Zhang had a brash, charming personality that could win people over easily. When he first saw Mei Ling walking through the university campus one afternoon, he was instantly captivated by her grace and beauty. Wei Zhang, determined to win Mei Ling's heart, devised a plan to meet her. He began frequenting areas where she studied, running into her, by coincidence, at the local tea house and offering to carry her books. Mei Ling, though shy and reserved, found his persistence endearing. Over time, she warmed to him, and the two began spending more and more time together. They would meet in secret, away from prying eyes, in the tranquil parks and quiet tea houses scattered across Chengdu. Their love blossomed quickly, and it wasn't long before Mei Ling found herself deeply in love with Wei Zhang. However, the couple was well aware of the many obstacles standing in their way. Mei Ling's family, the Mei clan, was well established in the community, and her father, Mr. Mei, was known to be a traditional and proud man. He would never accept Wei Zhang, someone from a lower social status, as a suitor for his daughter. The class divide between them was too great. A love like theirs was doomed from the start in the eyes of their families. Despite their awareness of the likely disapproval, Mei Ling and Wei Zhang continued their relationship in secret. Each stolen moment together felt precious, yet every glance over their shoulders reminded them of the risks they were taking. Mei Ling's parents soon began to notice subtle changes in their daughter. She spent more time out of the house, and when questioned about her whereabouts, her answers seemed vague. Mr. Mei and his wife grew suspicious. In a culture where familial honor is paramount, such behavior could not go unchecked. One fateful day, Mr. Mei decided to follow his daughter discreetly. To his horror, he saw her meeting Wei Zhang at a small cafe. Furious and heartbroken, Mr. Mei confronted Mei Ling that very evening. He forbade her from seeing Wei Zhang ever again, warning her that their family's reputation would be tarnished beyond repair if news of this relationship spread. Mei Ling, bound by the respect and filial piety that Confucian values instill, reluctantly obeyed. Her heart, however, was unwilling to let go of the love she had found with Wei Zhang. Mei Ling's parents placed strict rules upon her. She was only allowed to leave the house for her studies at the university and was always to be accompanied by her younger cousin. The pressure on Mei Ling grew unbearable as she longed to see Wei Zhang but was trapped under the watchful eyes of her family. Her spirit grew restless, and in a moment of defiance, she arranged to meet Wei Zhang in secret once more. Knowing that their families would never allow their love, Mei Ling and Wei Zhang decided to take drastic action. On April 18, 2011, they traveled to a small ancient Taoist temple hidden in the mountains outside Chengdu. There, They exchanged vows in a traditional ceremony, believing that their union would be blessed by the deities. To them, this secret marriage was a symbol of their love and commitment, but it also marked the beginning of their downfall. After their clandestine wedding, the two returned to their respective homes as if nothing had happened. However, the pressure from Mei Ling's family continued to mount, and Wei Zhang's frustration grew. How could they be together when the world around them was so determined to tear them apart? It was during this time of frustration that Wei Zhang confided in his closest friend Liu Ping. Liu Ping was an untrustworthy character. He ran a small, under-the-table business in the transport industry, and he was no stranger to shady dealings. When Wei Zhang poured out his frustrations, Liu Ping listened intently before offering a shocking suggestion. "What if," Liu Ping whispered, "you could disappear together? I know a way. There's a girl I know. She looks quite like Mei Ling. With a little planning, you two could make it seem like Mei Ling has died, and then the two of you could run away and live a new life together, far from here." Wei Zhang was stunned at first. The idea of faking Mei Ling's death and escaping together seemed impossible, but the more he thought about it, the more appealing it became. When he told Mei Ling about Liu Ping's plan, she hesitated. She had always been an obedient daughter, respectful of her family's wishes, but the thought of living her life without Wei Zhang was too much to bear. Eventually, she agreed to the plan, and the three of them set the wheels in motion. On June 10, 2011, Mei Ling left her home, telling her family that she had urgent business to attend to and would return shortly. In reality, she was meeting Wei Zhang to set their plan in motion. Liu Ping had already made contact with a young woman named Xiao Qin, who was desperately looking for work. She was from a small village and had come to Chengdu to earn money to send back to her family. Liu Ping offered her a job, promising a good salary, and she agreed to meet him that day. Liu Ping picked up Xiao Qin in his truck, driving her to a remote part of the mountains under the pretense of taking her to a job site. There they met Wei Zhang and Mei Ling. Without warning, Liu Ping and Wei Zhang attacked Xiao Qin, strangling her to death. Mei Ling, trembling with guilt and fear, stood by as they stripped Xiao Qin of her clothes and dressed her in the outfit Mei Ling had been wearing when she left home that morning. They placed Mei Ling's jade bracelet on the body and tied her hair in the same style. The plan was to make Xiao Qin's body unrecognizable, so they smashed her face with a heavy metal tool until it was beyond recognition. Satisfied with their horrific work, they dumped Xiao Qin's body in the dense forest near the Longquan Mountains. Liu Ping and Wei Zhang smoked cigarettes as they sat beside the body, and in an act of sheer cruelty, they used the cigarettes to burn parts of Xiao Qin's body to further obscure her identity. They left her there, believing that their dark plan had worked. When the police found the disfigured body of a young woman in the forest, Mei Ling's family was devastated. Her father, Mr. Mei, was brought in to identify the body. Though the face was unrecognizable, the jade bracelet, the clothing, and other small details led him to believe that the body was indeed his daughter. Grief consumed the Mei family as they prepared for her funeral. The entire community mourned for the young woman who had been taken so brutally from this world. Chengdu's streets were filled with whispers of sorrow and anger, and the local media covered the story extensively. However, the police continued their investigation. Something about the case didn't sit right with them. Why had Wei Zhang disappeared on the same day as Mei Ling's supposed death? Why had Xiao Qin, a girl with no apparent connection to Mei Ling, vanished as well? The more they dug, the more the puzzle began to unravel. A few days later, after receiving an anonymous tip, the police raided a small house in the countryside, far from Chengdu. What they found shocked them to the core. Inside the house, they discovered Wei Zhang, and standing beside him, very much alive, was Mei Ling. The police were stunned. How could Mei Ling be alive when her body had already been identified and her funeral held? The truth, however, soon came to light. Under interrogation, Mei Ling and Wei Zhang confessed to their twisted plan. They had murdered Xiao Qin, and used her body to fake Mei Ling's death, hoping to escape their families and begin a new life together in another part of China. They believed that by staging Mei Ling's death, they could free themselves from societal constraints and live without fear of disapproval. The truth of this heinous crime, however, shocked everyone who had mourned Mei Ling's death, including her own family. When the police interrogated Mei Ling, she admitted to the entire plot, although her voice trembled as she spoke. "I didn't want to hurt anyone," she claimed, her face pale with guilt. "But I was trapped. I thought this was the only way I could be with Wei." Wei Zhang, on the other hand, showed little remorse. He admitted to the murder, though he tried to shift some of the blame onto Liu Ping, who had suggested the plan in the first place. "It was all for love," Wei Zhang told the investigators, his voice steady. "Mei Ling and I had no choice. If we didn't do this, we would have been separated forever." Liu Ping, who had been arrested shortly after the discovery, confessed his involvement in luring Xiaoqin and participating in her murder. When asked why he had helped them carry out such a brutal act, Liu Ping shrugged. "It was just a job," he said, showing little sympathy for the life he had helped destroy. The entire plot was chilling. Xiaoqin, an innocent woman, had been lured under false pretenses, only to be murdered and disfigured. Her identity stolen so that two lovers could run away from their problems. The public's outcry was immediate and overwhelming. News of the case spread far beyond Chengdu, and soon, all of China was talking about the tragic death of Xiaoqin and the disturbing lengths Mei Ling and Wei Zhang had gone to for their love. The shockwave of the crime hit Mei Ling's family the hardest. When Mr. Mei was brought face to face with his daughter after her arrest, his heart broke all over again. He had already mourned her once, believing her to be dead, but seeing her alive and knowing what she had done was almost worse. "You are no longer my daughter," he told her coldly. "You died the moment you chose this path." Mei Ling's mother, who had been bedridden with grief after her daughter's supposed death, was unable to face the truth. She refused to see Mei Ling, even after learning that she was still alive. In her heart, the daughter she had loved was gone, replaced by someone capable of terrible cruelty. At the trial, the public waited eagerly for justice. Mei Ling, Wei Zhang, and Liu Ping were all charged with premeditated murder, conspiracy, and desecration of a body. The court proceedings were lengthy, with each defendant offering their own version of the events. Mei Ling's defense centered around her claim that she had been coerced into the plan by Wei Zhang and Liu Ping, though evidence showed that she had willingly participated in the crime. The prosecutors painted a different picture. Mei Ling, driven by selfish desire, had willingly sacrificed an innocent woman's life for the sake of her own happiness. They pointed out that Xiaoqin had left behind a grieving family, a young daughter and husband who were devastated by her murder. This crime was not born out of desperation, the prosecutor argued. It was born out of selfishness, a desire to escape consequences at any cost. During the trial, Xiaoqin's family spoke out, their voices filled with pain. Xiaoqin was a loving mother and wife, her husband tearfully told the court. "She came to the city to support us, and now she's gone. My daughter will grow up without her mother because of their selfishness." As the trial progressed, more details about the crime emerged, further horrifying the public. The cruelty with which Xiaoqin's body had been disfigured and discarded was difficult for many to comprehend. The courtroom was often filled with silence as the gruesome details were recounted. Photos of Xiaoqin's mutilated face were shown as evidence, leaving many in the room horrified. In the end, the verdict was clear. Mei Ling, Wei Zhang, and Liu Ping were all found guilty of murder, with the judge condemning their actions as depraved and selfish. The judge's voice was heavy with emotion as he passed the sentences. "This court cannot fathom the depths of cruelty that were reached in this crime," he said. "A life was taken in the most brutal manner, and for that, you will all face the full weight of the law." Mei Ling and Wei Zhang were both sentenced to life imprisonment, while Liu Ping received a similar sentence for his role in the crime. The public was relieved that justice had been served, but the tragedy of the case lingered. Xiaoqin's family, while grateful for the verdict, would never be able to bring their loved one back. The people of Chengdu were left stunned by the case. In a society that often values family, honor, and tradition, the actions of Mei Ling and Wei Zhang were incomprehensible. How could two people, driven by love, commit such a heartless crime? In the months following the trial, public discussions about the case continued. Newspapers and television programs frequently featured debates about the pressures of traditional values in modern China and how they can sometimes push young people to desperate measures. Some commentators argued that Mei Ling and Wei Zhang were victims of societal pressure, while others condemned their actions outright. The Mei family, once respected members of their community, withdrew from public life entirely. Mr. Mei sold their house and moved to a smaller village, hoping to escape the shame that had fallen upon his family. He refused to speak to the media, and many in the community were left wondering how a family so grounded in traditional values could have raised a daughter who would be capable of such cruelty. Zhao Qin's family, devastated by their loss, received an outpouring of support from people across the country. Donations were made to help support Zhao Qin's daughter, and many people expressed their condolences for the tragedy that had befallen them. However, no amount of support could fill the void left by Zhao Qin's death. The tragic tale of Mei Ling and Wei Zhang serves as a cautionary story of the consequences of misguided love, selfishness, and the pressure to conform to societal expectations. It is a reminder that love, when twisted by fear and desperation, can lead to unthinkable actions. And so, the case of Mei Ling and Wei Zhang came to an end. But the memory of their crime continues to haunt those who remember the once innocent-looking young couple who chose a dark and deadly path. If you found this telling insightful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. Please share your thoughts in the comments and suggest any other cases you'd like us to cover in the future. Thank you.